I'm Ryan from ExtremeTerrain.com, and this is my review and installation of the Rugged Ridge XHD Front Bumper Kit with Stinger and Stubby bumper ends, fitting all 2007 and up JKs. Today we are going to talk through the installation of this front bumper, which is a very simple 1 out of 3 wrenches. This is designed to bolt directly in place of your factory front bumper, so you can get this installed in about an hour. Maybe a little bit more because there is a little bit of assembly to do, but we'll talk about the installation a little bit more in just a second. We're also going to talk about the construction and a few of the features of this bumper. This is a modular bumper kit, so it comes with your XHD modular front bumper base with the winch mount, and it also comes with a couple of accessories right in the box as a kit to put together. Now, there are a few different benefits to having a modular bumper. Obviously, you can customize this bumper. You can add the stinger, the ends, you could add the high clearance ends or no ends, you could add a bumper hoop, you can change the stinger. You can do a lot of different things with a modular bumper to build a bumper that exactly fits your needs. Now, the only drawback to a modular bumper is that by the time you purchase the base and then the accessories you want to put on that base, these can be a little bit expensive. So, if you can find a bumper off the shelf that fits your needs, that looks how you want it to look, you can probably get away with the same number of features for a little bit less expensive. You are going to spend a little bit more on a modular bumper setup like this, but you are going to be able to get exactly what you want. So it really comes down to what you want on your Jeep and if you can find an off-the-shelf bumper that fits your needs. As I said before, this bumper is a bunch of different pieces that Rugged Ridge puts together for you as one example of how you can build a modular bumper from Rugged Ridge. Now, as I said before, this does have the XHD front bumper base with the winch mount. This base is also available without the winch mount if you decided not to run one. However, this does come ready to bolt a winch up to. You won't have to purchase any other accessories. This, of course, has your fair lead mount. It's drilled for a winch. It's ready to go, which is a really nice feature. This bumper base will also accept your factory fog lights, which is something I really like. You already have your factory fog lights, you're wired for it, the switch is there, why not be able to use them? And in a lot of stubby bumpers, because there is a lot less real estate, there isn't a spot for your factory fog lights, but in this bumper there is, and again, that's a feature I really like. Now, this kit also comes with the stinger attachment for your modular bumper base. Now, the initial purpose of a stinger was so that if you're coming down off of a very steep obstacle off-road and you start to roll over forward, the stinger will hit the ground and direct the Jeep to one side or the other, keeping you on the tires instead of rolling over. And if you were to roll over, the stinger was designed to be higher than the top of the hood to protect your radiator and your core support and support the weight of the vehicle. Most stingers these days aren't going to see that type of use. A lot of the time people just like the look of a stinger, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what this stinger is really about. It's certainly going to provide some protection to the front end of the Jeep, but if you are going to roll the Jeep over or put the full force of the vehicle on this stinger, I don't know that it's necessarily going to hold up. But it is going to give you some style, it is going to give you the look that a lot of you are after. This stinger also has your D-ring mounts built right into it. It's all one piece. So you do have 2 D-ring mounts on either side of this bumper, which is also a very nice feature. Now, the factory bumper right off the assembly line does have some tow hooks on the top of it, but I really prefer a D-ring mount because it gives you a nice solid connection for your tow strap or your snatch strap. With a hook, there's always a chance that the loop of the strap is going to come off, especially if you're using a snatch strap, which is designed to have a little bit of slack in it and then pull taut very quickly. With a D-ring, you make that connection, you know it's going to stay connected until you disconnect it. Now, the winch and the D-rings also work really well together. If you have a snatch block, you can essentially double the pulling power of your winch by going to a snatch block on a tree and back to your D-ring mount on your bumper again. Again, just gives you a lot of opportunity for recovery. And the final piece that's included with this kit are these stubby bumper ends. Now, right out of the box, this bumper comes with block-off plates, and you can certainly run the bumper like that, it's just a little bit shorter. With these stubby bumper ends, in my opinion, aesthetically the bumper looks a little nicer, but this still gives you a ton of clearance. One of the reasons to run a stubby bumper is if you're running 37-inch tires and you need additional clearance between the bumper and your tires, especially when you're off-road doing a lot of articulating. So even with these stubby bumper ends, you get a bit more of a finished look in my opinion, but they're still going to give you plenty of tire clearance. And even if you're not running a set of 37s, but you like the stubby bumper look, again, you're getting a nice short bumper, but you're also getting a finished look because of those ends. Now, this is a modular bumper, so if you go with the stubby bumper ends now, you can always swap them out for the high clearance ends or the block off plates. You can always change up your bumper as your build grows and as your build changes. That is the nice thing about a modular bumper like this. Now, one other piece that is included with this setup, because this is the bumper base with the winch mount, is a vacuum pump relocation kit. So for those of you with the newer JKs, you have a vacuum pump that's going to be right in this area here, which is going to be in the way of your new winch mounting plate. Don't worry, you will have to unbolt that, but this does come with your bracket to slightly move the vacuum pump, get it out of the way, so you're going to have all the pieces you need to get this bumper installed. Speaking of installation, as I mentioned before, this is a very simple 1 out of 3 wrench installation that should be finished in about an hour for you. The first step is, of course, removing your factory front bumper, which you'll do by first removing the splash shield on the bottom of the bumper cover on the front, and finally removing the 8 nuts that are holding that factory bumper in place. You'll also have to unclip your fog lights and your fog light harness before you actually remove the bumper from the Jeep. After that, you can remove the fog light housings from your factory bumper and screw them into your new bumper, as well as attaching your stubby bumper ends and your stinger. Now, you'll attach the stinger up on top using these 8 nuts, but you're going to leave the 8 bolts that go through the front off for now, because those are actually the same bolts that hold the bumper onto the Jeep. If you're going to be installing a winch, I also recommend that you install that winch now while the bumper is on the ground. It's a little bit easier to get to your winch mounting bolts when the bumper is not on the Jeep yet. Now, if you are installing a winch and all these other accessories, this is going to be a pretty heavy package, but again, having everything put together on the ground is a little bit simpler. You will just have to use a little bit more muscle or have an extra set of hands around to help you lift the bumper onto the frame rails. Once the bumper is lifted over the frame horns, it's a simple matter of bolting through the front of the bumper, through the stinger, through the frame horns, and nut and bolting the bumper onto the Jeep. That's going to give you that nice solid connection, so you're going to be able to use your D-rings or your winch with everything staying in place. Again, you're not going to need any specialty tools to get this bumper installed, just your traditional hand tools and about an hour's time. This bumper does come in at just under $700. Now, that does include your base, your stinger, and your stubby bumper ends, so you do end up with a very complete, very nice looking and very functional bumper. But the fact of the matter is, you can find stinger bumpers with a winch mount on the web for a little bit less than $700. So again, you are paying a bit of a premium for the ability to custom build the bumper and to change it up down the line as your build changes. So I absolutely think this is worth $700. This is a well put together piece and you end up with a really nice looking, very functional bumper. However, if you're not going to take advantage of the fact that this is modular, if you're never going to change it, or if you can find a bumper that suits your needs off the shelf without being a modular setup, chances are you are going to be able to save a little bit of money by going that direction. So if you're looking for a modular bumper that's going to allow you to build exactly what you want now, but also change that up down the line as your build changes, a modular bumper from Rugged Ridge is a really nice option. And this kit in particular gives you the Rugged Ridge XHD base that you're going to be able to build on, but it also gives you the stubby bumper ends and the stinger, so you end up with a very functional and very good looking bumper. So that's my review of the Rugged Ridge XHD modular front bumper kit with stinger and stubby bumper ends, fitting all 2007 and up JKs that you can find right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.